What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Trey, the Brute Daniels. Odalali. Happy Wednesday to you all. We're going to be discussing episode 2 of The Mandalorian Season 3. And, as always, we're going to stick to my favorite formula, giving the good bits up and the bad bits are down. So let's not waste time. Let's up these downs. So we kick things off on Tatooine during Boonta Eve. Now it looked like there was going to be some pod racing or something, but I think they're just regular old speeders that are running around. But it was still kind of cool to see. I like the aesthetic. So we find Pelimato pretty much hustling a Rodian to get some work out of him, establishing her character again, which is fine, and whatever. And they got the pit droids hustling them, and who robbed them? The Jawas, as always. So Din Djarin shows up. This is where things get a little weird. Din Djarin shows up and is like, hey, I need an IG-11 memory chip. She goes and calls the Jawas over, and they're like, nah, we ain't got it. And we're like, okay, well, that's the end of that. And then she just offers up the R5 unit. What? And this kind of blows my mind, because R5 unit, he needs a droid to go and test the air quality or something like that of Mandalore and to traverse the terrain. And I guess he needed the IG-11 for that, but he really didn't. And R5 is available to do it. So he takes R5. So this literally, the side quest from episode 1 has been completely rendered moot by this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We didn't need IG-11. We didn't need all the Bobo Frit alien. I think this was a mistake, actually having the scene in here. My personal opinion, this really renders a lot first episode moot. I gotta go ahead and give it a down. So we arrive on Mandalore, and of course we gotta test the terrain, so R5 is sent ahead. Now, while R5 is being sent ahead, Din Djarin is teaching Grogu how to read the map, and he shows on his little map, the wayfinder, where Navala is, Bo-Katan's planet, which is right next door to Mandalore. And this comes in handy later, and actually doing a pretty cool way. So R5 is on his way to go and test the air quality, even though I feel like he could have just went forward and scanned it, but that's neither here nor there. Then he disappears. So then Din Djarin goes and tries to find him, and he runs into Halamites, and they start attacking him and all that stuff. He's using his blaster. Then he pulls out the Darksaber, and of course he still has not mastered it, so it's very heavy to him, and he still swings, but he's able to, defeat them or what have you, and saves R5. And R5 reveals, oh, I got the air quality and you can breathe it, which is cool. But there was a little thing in here that kind of messed with me. Din Djarin can pressurize his helmet so he can breathe within his helmet. So even if it wasn't breathable, he still could have gone here on his own and went on his adventure without a droid.
No way.
Whatever. I picked up on little things like that, but I'm not going to really hold that against the scene. Overall, I enjoyed it. I like the fact that R5 is actually getting work to do other than just being a legacy astromech from the original trilogy. Actually on an adventure. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and give it an up. So Grogu and Din Djarin go on into the cave. Grogu's obviously scared. Heck, I'd be scared too. On his cool little Frieza floating orb.
Hold up.
They are then... Well, Din Djarin gets trapped by this robot-alien hybrid... whatever this thing is, captures him and takes him to its secret lair. Grogu tries to use the Force to open this cage that he's in, but just doesn't do it. Din Djarin looks at him and tells him to go find Bo-Katan. Because since Bo-Katan is right next door. It's actually pretty clever, and it's a good way to show if Grogu knows if he's learning anything. So he ends up escaping the cave, pushes, and then he has the scene from the trailer when he pushes the Halamite and all that great stuff. So I like this. It's actually having Grogu do something useful outside of just being there and being cute for merchandise sake. He even had him do a little bit of espionage. He's sneaking around and try to get to him. So that was kind of cool. Good puppet work involved as well. I enjoyed it. Go ahead and give it up. Now the show begins. We get Katie Sackhoff. I mean Bo-Katan. That's my girl right there. So he goes to Navala to go get her, and of course she's first very aggressive, like, hey, didn't I tell you not to come back here? Then she sees that Din Djarin's not in, so they get in her ship and they head on to Mandalore. So they are once again attacked by Halamites. And she is whooping their tails. And I'm telling you, she looked good while doing it. I mean, this next level, anyway, they defeat the Halamites, and they have a nice little conversation between her and Grogu as they go through the place. They talk about, like, hey, I used to know Jedi, I used to fight side by side. And basically trying to make a connection with Grogu, and that stuff is pretty cool. I really like that. Katie Sackhoff really steals this episode, to be completely honest. She really rolls with these punches. So they come across the lair of the robot alien hybrid creature thing, and once again, I'm very confused on what this thing is trying to do. I think they're trying to drain Din Djarin's blood and then maybe eat his carcass. Ew! Not 100% certain, but he's definitely gonna die. So it's draining his blood or something. So then we have ourselves a boss fight. I love a boss fight. So all of Din Djarin's items are laying around: his blaster, the dark saber, his jetpack, all that stuff. So Bo-Katan goes and fights the robot alien hybrid thing, defeats it, thinks it's dead. It climbs into his giant robot body. He fights again. Then there's a big old huge fight scene, and it shows the contrast of how she can control the dark saber because it's her ceremonial saber, and how she had it for so long before she had lost it. And it shows her mastery of the blade. She has like this cool shield on her arm, all this cool stuff. It's really, really cool. And she ends up destroying the joint. I really enjoyed this scene. I love Katie Sackhoff. It gets an up. So Din Djarin's recovering, like what happened, the whole 9 yards. He drinks some soup that's from their home planet they never had before, and he said Katie Sackhoff. Bo-Katan fills him in on this is like something like this is cultural soup. It's nice. And she's like, hey, we can go back to my ship so I can take you back to my crib. He's like, nah, I gotta bathe in the waters of Mandalore. And she's like, alright. So they travel all the way down there, and she talks about how this ceremony was a very special thing back when she was a kid, and she used to do all these great things and blah 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 to appease the people and all that stuff. So it's nice. You get some Mandalore background and all that stuff, and it's really cool. So Din Djarin is entering the holy waters of Mandalore, and as he is saying his creed, he falls deep into the waters. So
I'm kind of retarded.
Bo-Katan has to go down there and save him. I mean, he falls like a freaking rock. Like, he falls faster than anything I had ever seen before. And she had to put on her jetpack and everything to catch up to him. I don't know how he fell so drastically, but that was, wow, that jump was deep. So as she saves him and she's ascending up to the water, through the water, a freaking mythosaur is in the depths of the water. I'm not gonna lie, I went, oh snap, it's a mythosaur. I'm not gonna hold you. I literally went back and went like this, like, oh snap, that's a mythosaur in the depths of the water. Holy crap. And this is how the episode ends, and I gotta say, it leaves me intrigued. I want to know more about this mythosaur. I want to know more about what's going on the planet. I am intrigued. I am invested in what's going on here. So obviously they're doing their job well. I'm going to go ahead and give this scene an up. Oodalali. So overall, what do I think? I think that this episode was pretty solid. Now, it runs a bit long, and there's a couple scenes that I think could have been cut for the runtime. But overall, I like the lore that they're doing. The intro was completely moot, and that I didn't like at all. because now it just renders pretty much a lot of the first episode null and void. So that's kind of upsetting. But once again, Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan is masterful. It shows how cool she is as a character. I really enjoyed this. It actually had Grogu being useful. You're not going to get an argument from me in that regards. I enjoyed this episode. Overall, this joint gets an up. So what do you guys think about this episode? Let me know in the comment section below. So that's all I got for today. Do all those... follow me on those dope social media platforms see over there. And do all those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. As always, guys, it's been awesome. I'll catch you all next time. Also, if you want to support my channel, check out spinwiz.com or download the Spinwiz app and check out my comic series, Trouble. It was written with a lot of love, and it was definitely my favorite comic series to write. I've also written it in English and in Spanish, so whatever floats your boat, I got it for you. Thanks again, and check it out.